Welcome back to Hot Water Wrestling, everybody. Here with my Hunt to Kill movie review starring Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now, I had planned on doing this fancy movie review for you guys, where I was going to use my editing system to include photographs of the film and detail the characters, and do a much more broad film review. Unfortunately, my system has crashed. I don't know if any of you guys do any video editing out there, and if you guys have a PowerMac G5, but I'm getting that red LED light of death, kind of like the ring of death from the Xbox, if you guys know what I'm talking about. So I know this film's about to come out in a few weeks, so I didn't want this to go to waste, so I'm just going to have to do it like this. I don't have anything to show you. I don't have the cover of the film or anything like that, because I saw an advanced screening. Let's get this out of the way. It's better than The Stranger. It's better than The Stranger. And that's not the only reason I liked it. It's actually an entertaining film. I think you'll be quite pleased with this movie. It's not better than The Condemned, in my opinion, and Damage is still a little better than this movie. Mainly I like Damage a little more just because it's kind of more of a straightforward, stone cold, rough 'em up film, whereas Hunt to Kill, his character's a little more vulnerable. He doesn't plow through the competition like he did on Condemned and Damaged. He's more vulnerable. It's more kind of, I don't want to say realistic, but I guess I'll have to say that. It's a little more realistic to where what someone would have to go through if they were in this situation. Now, Stone Cold plays a retired Border Patrol officer. He was raising his daughter by himself without his wife. I believe his spouse passed away, and he's left with his daughter. So he decides to retire from Border Patrol in Texas and move to Montana, to a place that's more secluded and more laid back, and a place where he can bond and be with his daughter and have a less hazardous occupation because he doesn't want anything to happen to him. And on down the line, and things are going really well for them until this band of thieves come through town, and they end up kidnapping his daughter. And in order to get his daughter back, Stone Cold must lead this band of thieves through the wilderness of Montana into the border of Canada, across the border of Canada, I should say. The villain in this film did a really good job. I'm sure we'll see him in some other movies because I thoroughly enjoyed his performance. Unlike the asshole in The Stranger, who was horrible, this guy was very, very good. The movie kind of reminded me a little bit of First Blood, the first Rambo film, because Stallone gets away from the cops, the bully cops, and he runs into the forest, and they go in after him, and he picks them off. Well, this is kind of a little like that, because most of the movie takes place in the wilderness out in Montana, and they're just out there all alone. I don't want to give up too much of the film, but the dialogue was good. It wasn't great, but Stone Cold has some good lines. The character development was excellent. I thought that the casting was good, and all the actors who played each of the parts fulfilled them great and did a wonderful job. The filmmaking execution, it's just there. You won't be wowed by the cinematography or sound design, but you definitely won't be deterred from these elements. They're intact and look way better than The Stranger. I know I keep bringing The Stranger up, but it was such a dismal Stone Cold film. Great cover. Great cover. The cover, if you just get by The Stranger on DVD with the holographic cover and just stare at it, you'll get more entertainment than you will actually putting it in your DVD player. But don't be afraid to go see Hunt to Kill, starring Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm sure you'll find it quite enjoyable. And I'm sorry I couldn't do more of a detailed review for you guys, but my system crashed, and it's very depressing, which is another reason I haven't really been on YouTube, because I've been dealing with that, and blah, 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 blah. So I will see you next time on Hot Water Wrestling, and I'll see you at the movies. Woo!